is a presentation of Fox Sports.
We are sports. We are Southeast.
For the first time since midsummer 2015, we join you from the confluence. Yes, it's beautiful Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Stop number 2 on the Braves' 3-city road trip and game 1 of 4 against the Pittsburgh Pirates tonight at PNC Park. Hi again, friends. Joe and Chip, welcome to the ballpark. Braves lost a heartbreaker in extra innings yesterday in Kansas City, but we turn the page. Pitching's been great for Atlanta, and today Williams Perez facing a Pirates club that's having trouble scoring runs.
Well, that's good news for Williams because he struggled against the Pirates a little bit last year. But going back to his last start in AAA, his last 2 outings, he's gone 17 innings and only given up 1 run. He is on fire. He was throwing strikes against the Phillies. You see there, no walks. Pitched his best game as a major leaguer. And the Braves will be going against a left-hander. One of 3 left-handers in this series. Jonathan Neese, a guy they're very familiar with, who has made 22 career starts against Atlanta while with the New York Mets. So they know all about Jonathan Neese.
It is a beautiful night for baseball. Are you ready for a win?
I'm ready for a win.
Let's get a win. Game 1, Braves and Buccos baseball coming up next. Lineups and first pitch after a break.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day. Airlines, your local Ford dealer, and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
It is a beautiful night for baseball here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Our first look at Clint Hurdle and the Pittsburgh Pirates. As Joe mentioned, the Buccos just 7-7 so far on their home field. It is a nearly cloudless sky tonight. Temperature 62 degrees. Winds out of the west-southwest at 10 miles an hour. The forecast is for good weather for Game 1. Hopefully, all 4 games that we play here in Pittsburgh. We often deal with rain delays when we come to PNC Park. Let's hope Mother Nature and the Pittsburgh Pirates cooperate. A look at the lineup card is presented by Freddie Gonzalez for Game 1 of the set tonight. The Braves come in at 9-27 on the year. 7 of their 9 wins have come on the road. Nick Markakis will lead off. Ender Inciarte bats second in center field. Freeman, Francoeur, Kelly Johnson at second base. Tyler Flowers, Chase Darno at third. Eric Ibar at shortstop. And Williams Perez looking to follow up a terrific performance last time out against the Phillies. Will take the ball in Game 1 of the series. Pittsburgh has Polanco, McCutchen, and Joyce left to right in the outfield. As Joe mentioned, Starling Marte on paternity leave. Starling's family welcomed a baby girl today, so he may be back as soon as Thursday, the final game of this series for the Pirates. Freese and Jaso on the corners, Harrison and Mercer up the middle, and Francisco Cervelli is the Pittsburgh Pirates catcher. Pirates are happy to be home. More than that, Joe, they're happy not to be playing in the National League Central, and specifically happy to not be playing the Chicago Cubs, who have beaten the Pirates 5 of 6 times this year.
I'd say they're pretty loose coming off that win against Chicago yesterday and coming home. Josh Harrison and Andrew McCutchen getting them all rolling in their dugout. Josh Harrison's been on a real tear. But you're right, this team without Marte, they've still got a lot of weapons, but not the same lineup when he's not in there.
And so at long last, Jonathan Nisa and the Pirates take the field here at PNC Park. Braves know an awful lot about Jonathan Nisa. Saw him a ton when he was with the New York Mets. And home run balls have been a problem for the Pittsburgh left-hander.
Yeah, he's given up 10 in his first 7 starts, and you can see there his last 3 starts, 0-2 with a 7.56 ERA and 8 walks over that stretch. It's not like Jonathan Nisa. He's usually around the plate, doesn't throw particularly, he's not a flamethrower, but he's in the low 90s. 4-pitch guy, good sinker, and a pretty good breaking ball. Ordinarily pretty tough on lefties, but the Braves are stocked with left-handed hitters in there tonight. One of the reasons for that, talked to Freddie Gonzalez before the game. Gordon Beckham needed a day. He's coming back from that hamstring strain, and they don't want to push it too much on Gordon, even though he's been swinging the bat real well. Coming out of that series in Kansas City, it was pretty obvious that Gordon needed a day off, and he gets one tonight.
So let's take a look once again at a snapshot of this Pittsburgh Pirate Ball Club, a team that won a ton of games last year. In fact, they won 98, off to a bit of a slow start, but May has not been kind for Clint Hurdle's club.
But look at the bottom line there. 4 guys in those additions are in the lineup tonight. Nice, Freese, Jaso, and Joyce. And all are contributing, doing good things for them, especially Matt Joyce, who they signed as a free agent, and he's just been tearing the cover off the ball. So they're hopeful that he will fill in for Marte tonight and provide a little offense.
So at long last, we are ready to go. Nick Markakis is going to dig in. And before we get the game started, we want to wish a very happy belated birthday to Frida Ledbetter, watching the game in Gallatin, Tennessee. Frida turned 90 years old a couple of days ago, and we wanted to make sure we passed along happy birthday greetings to a Braves fan since 1966.
Yeah, one of the biggest Braves fans in all of Braves country. Happy birthday, Ms. Ledbetter.
So Nick Markakis ready to go, batting .258, and his first pitch is fouled away at the plate. And we're underway. 62 degrees officially at first pitch. A very gentle breeze blowing out toward the bullpens in left center. And that just missed, said Jerry Meals, the home plate umpire.
Nice last year with the Mets 9-10 with a 4.13 ERA. Game over 500 for his career. 64 wins, 63 losses.
As you saw in that graphic, lots of changes for this Pittsburgh ball club. Jonathan Nice, Juan Nicasio, Ryan Vogelsong are in. Charlie Morton, A.J. Burnett, and Jay Happ are out for the Pittsburgh ball club. And that's off the plate. Full count for the Braves leadoff man, Nick Markakis. That's popped to the left side and out of play. And we'll do it again at 3-2. This is a big sports night in Pittsburgh. Not a gigantic crowd by any stretch here at PNC Park. The Pittsburgh Penguins are playing hockey tonight. They've got the Tampa Bay Lightning as Nick walks to start the game. Walks and homers oftentimes a bad combination, and Nice puts the leadoff man aboard. But what a view.
It is. It's just spectacular. Great ballpark.
So Nice to the stretch immediately as Ender Inciarte bats. Ender at 186 and 1 RBI.
One of the things that has not been a problem for Jonathan Nice has been a slow first inning. He's only given up 1 run in 7 starts, but he walks the leadoff man here, and as I said, a lot of walks in his last 3 starts.
That one hit the mark, and the count now a ball and a strike.
Great day yesterday for Ender defensively. What a throw he made to throw out the runner at home plate.
There's a bunt. Cervelli pounces on the grass, throws to first. And Inciarte with the sacrifice puts Markakis at second base for Freddie Freeman and 1 out. I love the fact the Braves trying to play for an early run. The way this staff has pitched, why not get the lead, put the pressure immediately on the opposition.
And it seems like it's been the other way around on this road trip so far in Kansas City, where the pressure was always applied to the Braves starters early on. That was a nice play by Cervelli, who's a terrific defensive catcher. Pounce on that.
So Freddie Freeman digs in, and he grounds the first pitch out to second. Harrison's got it. Runner to third, 2 outs. Jeff Francoeur draws the cleanup assignment tonight for Freddie Gonzalez. Braves have used, I believe, 32 different lineups now. Francoeur looks for RBI number 8. It's the second time he's hit 4th this year for the Braves. I imagine it's tough to pick up the ball with that shot.
Yeah, a lot of glare out there in center field. And as Matt Diaz said on Braves Live, for a right-handed hitter, even in the best of times, hitting off a left-handed pitcher here, a lot of times the ball comes out of the background of the city. But it's kind of bright. A couple of cutters have been biting in on Jeff there.
Jeff's riding a 4-game hitting streak and has an even count. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And Nice gets a swing and a miss. He works around a leadoff walk. Atlanta out of luck in the first, and Williams Perez on the mound. Of the first inning here in Pittsburgh, the Pirates at 19-17 on the year, and they're going to face a red-hot Williams Perez in Game 1.
Williams Perez comes in with a 3.54 ERA. His career numbers in May, 222, and undefeated in 4 starts in May, including his last start against the Phillies, which was outstanding. 8 innings, 1 run, no walks, 4 strikeouts. His 4 keys for tonight's game: number 1, stay on the attack. He's been pounding the strike zone, and he needs to do that tonight and keep that sinker down around their ankles, not on your ankles. It was here that he got hit in the ankle last year with a comebacker that put him on the disabled list and changed his whole season.
Yeah, it was really a roller coaster year for Williams Perez last season. Started 4-0. Got hurt, came back from the DL, lost 6 straight decisions, then figured things out over his final 5, where he went 3-0 with a 2.35 ERA, and that's how he's pitching now in 2016.
Aggressive and fearless.
And his first pitch to John Jaso, the Pirate first baseman, is way upstairs. Three homers, 12 RBIs for Jaso, who takes a strike.
It's not very often that your first baseman hits leadoff, but this guy's done a great job of getting on base. Good average, high average in the first inning. He's hitting .320 in the first inning.
And you would think that guys like Jaso would have a great time hitting in this ballpark. It is tailor-made for left-hand hitters. 320 feet down the right field line with a 21-foot high wall. That's off the plate. 3 balls and a strike. No walks for the Braves in 21 2/3 innings. And that just ended. Leadoff walk for Jaso. And here's the rest of the Pittsburgh lineup. As Joe said, they may have the best defensive outfield, heck, the best outfield period in the National League. Even without Starling Marte, they're awfully tough because Andrew McCutchen is their second place hitter. Gregory Polanco's in left. He's driven home 19 runs. And keep an eye on Jordy Mercer. He has torn up Braves pitching over the last 7 games he's played against Atlanta.
Yeah, and it's not even a McCutchen type start to the season for him, hovering around 250. He still has hit 8 homers.
A strike to Andrew McCutchen. Five-time All-Star, and is only 4 hits away from the top spot in PNC Park history. He's chasing down Jack Wilson for those honors, and he was late.
Ooh, boy, was he. 93 on that one.
Short lead at first by Jaso, and the 0-2 pitch to McCutchen. Instead, it's to first.
Braves got out of Kansas City just in time. Their game at home with Boston tonight already postponed.
Right now, that's about all that can slow down the Red Sox. It's Mother Nature. Boston's having a great month, scoring a ton of runs. And the Red Sox and Orioles atop the AL East pile by 5.5 games over Toronto. One ball, 2 strikes.
Right-handers not having a whole lot of luck with Williams Perez because of that sinker. They were just 6 for 35 coming into this start. And the one thing that we noticed from Williams in that last start against Philadelphia was that he was throwing the sinker to a big part of the plate and then letting it sink off of that, instead of throwing at the corners and then having it miss badly.
Swing and a miss by McCutchen. Pretty pitch from Williams Perez. There's his first out of the night.
93 down to 79 on the changeup. Beautiful. Great delivery on it. Big arm action. And pulled the string on it.
Here's Gregory Polanco. Polanco just 24 years old. And that missed inside, I guess. 1 ball, no strikes.
That's what Tyler Flowers wants to know too. Tyler Flowers and A.J. Pierzynski, big guys behind the plate. Tyler takes up a lot of room there. Jerry Meals calling balls and strikes tonight is not the tallest umpire in the league, shall we say.
Right back up the middle. Nice play. Ibar flip to second is off target. It's an infield hit for Polanco, and that one whistled back through the box. And Ibar, great play to keep it on the infield.
Tried to kind of shot put it over there to Kelly and didn't get much on it. Just glad it missed Williams.
So here's David Freese. He was 0 for 3 in their Sunday afternoon game in Chicago, a game won by Garrett Cole. They beat the Cubs 2-1.
Double play would be wonderful here, just to limit the pitch count that seems to be bigger in the first inning than it is any other time for Braves starters.
Yeah, Perez threw 85 pitches in 8 innings in that start against the Phillies. And Freese is the Pirates leader in double plays. He's hitting 6 of them. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 on. Bouncing ball up the middle. Ibar kept it on the infield. His throw to second. Late again. And the Pirates are wearing out the center of the diamond. Back-to-back infield hits. And the bases are loaded for their catcher, Francisco Cervelli.
Well, he may not have gotten an out, but he saved a run. I think Jaso would have scored on this if it gets through. Polanco's speed prevented that from being a force out.
Cervelli can do it all for the Pirates. Terrific defensive catcher, and he's knocked in a ton of runs already this year. 16 as a matter of fact. And that one gets past Flowers, and Jaso scores standing up. It's 1-0 Pittsburgh. Polanco to third, Freese to second.
That's going to be a pass ball. It wasn't that bad a pitch. But the way the official scoring has gone on this road trip already, who knows?
Well, we know it's 1-0 Pittsburgh.
Yep.
And 2 more in scoring position for Cervelli, who bounces another one up the middle. Ibar gloves and throws on the run. 2 outs. Polanco scores. It's 2-0 Pittsburgh. Cervelli's 17th RBI. Here's Matt Joyce. He's hit 4 homers. He's knocked in 12. Again, no Starling Marte for the Pirates, and the Braves are happy to have him miss some time.
Well, the frustrating part is the pass ball, wild pitch, whatever it was ruled, cost the Braves a chance to get a double play and get out of the inning. That ground ball to short was tailor-made for a double play, and with the runners moving up, took that away.
One ball, no strikes for Joyce. That's off the plate. It's ball 2. A leadoff walk, 2 infield hits, and a pass ball. And now a line drive into right field makes it 3-0.
What an addition he has been. Change up that was left up, and he went out around it. Last 26 games, Joyce 4 homers, 12 RBIs plus tonight.
Yeah, most of his work had been off the bench. Joyce is the leading pinch hitter for the Pirates. 5 pinch hits and 17 at bats, including 3 pinch hit homers. So start tonight, and already an RBI hit, and just like that, Pittsburgh leads by 3. Josh Harrison's the Pirates' second baseman, batting .305. We know all about Daniel Murphy. We saw an awful lot of Gene Segura when the Diamondbacks were in town. Those are the only 2 second basemen in the National League with more hits than Josh Harrison.
Yeah, he's got 40 of them.
Quickly, no balls, 2 strikes, and Harrison steps out. And that's popped out of play. He'll stay alive. Harrison, the 7th man to bat in the opening inning.
And Perez's command might be a little off. Obviously, it was off against Jay So, and he walked the first man of the ball game, but that change up another sign that he was up a little bit with it. Got to get the ball down.
Joyce broke from first and then slammed on the brakes. Harrison had a good year last year. In fact, signed a 4-year contract extension in April. Hit .287 in 114 games.
If Joyce is not running, it's a real good fake because his left knee keeps twitching and buckling. He's got kind of an open stance to kind of help his crossover step.
Another 0-2 pitch and another throw to first. Harrison also missed some time on the disabled list for Clint Hurdle's club last year. Tore the ulnar collateral ligament in his left thumb sliding into second base. He had surgery and missed 38 games. This one's hit high toward right. Markakis drifts back to the warning track and a step shy of the wall. Makes the grab. 7 men come up for Pittsburgh. 3 of them score in the opening inning. We head to the second. Pirates 3, Atlanta nothing. Pittsburgh has the lead after 1. Kelly Johnson, Tyler Flowers, and Chase Darno are coming up against Jonathan Neese. Pirates have won 5 of his first 7 starts this year. And Jonathan Neese last 8 against Atlanta, 3-2, a 193 earned run average. So Atlanta's going to have to come back against a man who's pitched them awfully tough, dating back to his days with the Mets. Strike to Kelly Johnson, leading things off in the second. Kelly no homers, 7 RBIs, and batting .225. That was fouled off Cervelli. He's all right. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
He's already been popped 3 times tonight. We're only in the second inning.
Off the glove of Jaso, and that scoots into right field. No chance for Harrison to make a play. And Kelly Johnson has reached to start the second inning.
They are tied for 8th in the National League in defense. They've committed now 24 errors, depending on how they score that one. 24 errors compared to the Braves 30, so they're not exactly tearing it up.
And Kelly Johnson gets a hit.
Good. Should have been.
Tyler Flowers at 241. No homers, 6 RBIs. The difficulty in all these early runs for the Pirates is summed up by the number we talked about earlier. The Braves don't hit many home runs. They have but 9 as a team, and the only man in tonight's lineup with a home run is Freddie Freeman, and he has 6 of the 9 team homers this year. So the Braves have to use a lot of energy to put together big scoring innings.
Yeah, and a couple of the others aren't on the team anymore. Drew Stubbs had 1. Adonis Garcia had 1 or 2.
Maybe Nice will pitch himself into a big inning for the Braves. Again, lots of walks, lots of homers. Maybe that'll rear its ugly head for him here in the second. 3 balls and a strike. There's a walk. 2 on, nobody out. Second walk for Nice tonight.
He got Francoeur to chase some bad cutters and then a slider that were nowhere near the plate. Jeff was jumping out there a little too quick, so I guess he thought that he'd get Flowers to do the same thing. It didn't work, and nothing better than giving up some runs and having the opposing pitcher then put a couple of guys on base for you.
Chase Darno coming off a multi-hit game yesterday in Kansas City. His average at .316. Chance for his first Atlanta RBI.
I like the way he swung the bat. You know, in limited opportunities. When he does get a start, he seems to barrel up a couple of balls every night.
That one lined down the right field line, but that'll bounce foul. It's a homecoming of sorts for Chase Darno. He was originally a Pittsburgh Pirate. They took him in the 4th round in 2008. Got to the big leagues in 2011. But never really got any offensive traction. He hit .217 that year for the Pirates with 6 RBIs in 48 games. Up and down throughout their minor league system until the end of the 2014 season when the Phillies signed him as a minor league free agent. And then the Braves got him obviously as a minor league free agent before this year.
Well, if that last swing was any indication, kind of like Francoeur, he's going to get another pitch even farther inside.
He did, and Darno launched it into the seats. Where a police officer from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania made the play. Part of the issue for Darno as a Pirate, a broken right pinky and a broken left thumb that required surgery. Can't imagine how tough it is to come back from that. From an offensive standpoint.
So far, he's not letting Nice waste a pitch.
Good at bat.
Yeah, good battle. Hanging in there. We saw a lot of that in Kansas City from the Royals players who were able to somehow, some way, thinking about Escobar especially, fighting off pitches so they could get something they could put in play and keep it fair.
Toward third. Freeze will step on the bag and throw across to first, and Darno beats the wrap. So Kelly Johnson forced at third. Flowers safe at second. Darno aboard at first with 1 out.
I don't think David Freese knew how fast Darno was, especially on that type of swing where he's kind of leaning out of the box anyway.
First at bat of the night for Eric Ibar, the Braves shortstop. at 187, 5 RBIs. And now ahead in the count.
He is intent on burying that cutter and slider down and then in, biting in on the hands of the righties.
Bouncing ball again left side. Freeze held up. Throw to second. Out there. No throw to first by Harrison. Darno forced at second. Runners at the corners now. 2 outs. And Braves pitcher Williams Perez is coming up.
Braves might have been checking to see if Josh Harrison was on the bag. He was.
So this would be a great spot for Williams to pick up his first base hit of the year. He's 0 for 7.
Little slow roller through the right side would be nice. Runner being held over there.
Good cut. But now it's 2-2. Has not made it easy on himself with a couple of walks and several deep counts. And that missed outside, I suppose. Those are even.
Now Neese was headed to the dugout.
And we'll do it again. 3 balls, 2 strikes.
Cervelli behind the plate is a lot like JT Realmuto for the Marlins. They play catcher like an infielder. Very active back there, quick, good hands.
There was some, Joe, who wondered how the Pirates would fare with Russell Martin leaving Pittsburgh to go to Toronto. Well, I think this guy's done everything they could possibly ask for behind the plate.
I think he was very underrated coming into this league. And the Pirates had a great year last year. Only the Cardinals won more games than they did. He did a fine job with their staff.
That's hit to Jordy Mercer at short. Plenty of time for the shortstop to load up. And that will retire the side. The Braves strand a pair in the second and trail 3-0.
of the second, Pirates up 3-0 over the Braves. There he is, Inciarte. We know the trade that sent Shelby Miller out to the Diamondbacks. This guy's on my all underrated team. Watch this catch in KC, diving in left field. Absolutely incredible. We've seen that in center field where it looks like you hit fast forward on your DVD player. And then how about this throw from left field? A gun right on target. And you can see Flowers catching that and making a nice play there. And there you see it in real time. Guys, here's my take. I'm a former pitcher, and you know it was hard for me to throw 88. It took all I had. That throw in last night from the outfield, 93.8 miles an hour, and he's left-handed. So I tell you what, if we need a guy out of the pen and run out of pitchers, he can go on the mound and get the job done too. Paul, back to you, Chip and Joe.
One of the things that made it 93.8, Paul, was his great footwork. You know, one of my pet peeves about outfielders is when they charge the ball, they kill their momentum by stepping back with their back foot. Watch how he steps forward and keeps all his momentum going right to home plate. He never broke stride once he fielded the ball. That was textbook stuff from Inciarte on how you're supposed to field the ball and throw in one motion.
And Paul Bird, nothing makes my partner smile more than a Braves win, a nice chocolate chip cookie, and great outfielders mechanics.
All three, yeah.
Joe, you could have taught me that earlier on the mound, maybe on the 0-2 pitch. I could have got a little more on it.
Well, if they'd let you run up the back slope of the mound, Paul, and crow hop, I think you'd have had it.
That would have been great.
I find that really interesting what you said, because of course as a pitcher I'm in spring training and I'm out there in right field talking to he and Andrew Jones, and they both said the same thing you said, is you'll see a lot of outfielders crow hop and really turn that hip, and you lose time and you get momentum going in a different direction. And I'd never heard that before.
Yeah, you can, if you step back, if you step with your, in his case, he's left-handed. So if his left foot went back behind him and he basically turned his whole body to the infield, it destroys all your momentum you've built up when you're charging the baseball. And it also makes it hard to throw the ball straight.
Is that an epidemic, Joe?
Yes.
That improper footwork?
Yes, I see very few outfielders who throw correctly, and it, by and large, it's because they don't throw enough. They don't practice enough.
Jordy Mercer, ground ball to third. Darno loads up. Bad throw, but Freeman came off the bag and saved the error. 1 out.
I mean, we threw every day. We threw the bases every day when they didn't field practice. Nobody does that anymore. Maybe once a homestand, they come out early and take infield. But outfielders, for certain, do not throw enough.
So Williams Perez off to a better start here in the second inning. He gets the leadoff man. Now Jonathan Neese out of Defiance, Ohio, stands in the batter's box. Pittsburgh needed some starting pitching, so they traded Neil Walker to the Mets to get Jonathan Neese. You had a number on Jonathan Neese before the game that really surprised me. As much as we've seen Neese, my first impression was this guy's got to be 32, 33 years old.
He's only 29.
Another chance for Darno. Second hop and in on the grass. A better throw, 2 out.
I mean, we've watched him pitch so many years, and this is his 23rd career start against the Braves. I mean, I figured he was pushing 40.
Yeah, good point. We've seen Neese pitch awfully well and awfully poorly. He has a 6-walk game in his career against the Braves. That was back in 2013. He's already walked a couple tonight, but he leads 3-0. Williams Perez walked John Jaso to start the game, and that led to a 3-run first inning rally.
Looks like Perez has found his bearings. And again, going back to one of his keys, more aggressive.
Fly ball to right. Nick Markakis on the run, can't get there. Nick broke back and then couldn't get to the line to handle that fly ball, and Jaso has a blue pit with 2 outs. and that keeps the inning alive for the Pirates. And here is Andrew McCutchen. I love watching this guy play. He struck out his first time up. A great changeup from Perez. Struck out the Pirates center fielder. McCutchen, the 11th pick in the 05 draft. Big year for Pittsburgh last year. 23 homers, 96 RBIs, scored 91 runs, and he hit .292.
And the MVP a couple of years ago.
With a .401 on base percentage. Ground ball short. Ibar's got it. Second base to Kelly Johnson, and that will retire the side. No runs, a hit. McCutchen's 0 for 2. Top of the order coming up for the Braves. Down 3-0 in Pittsburgh.
Baseball is presented by low price every day.
Well, friends, like this Pittsburgh Pirates ball club, the city of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania is truly enjoying a renaissance. This has become a great tech hub, a great place for young people to live and work downtown. The football stadium, Heinz Field, just beyond the right field line. And behind us at PNC Park here on the north shore of, I believe it's the Allegheny River. Markakis' first pitch drives this one deep toward right field. That ball's got a chance. That ball is high off the wall. Markakis on his way to second, and he'll stand there with a double. He just missed a solo home run.
Man, when Joyce turned around and just started watching it, I thought that thing was way up in the seats. And if it's maybe, what, 6 or 8 feet to the left, it's a homer. Nick put a charge in it. He thought it had a chance too. Man, oh man.
He hit it right off the blue cross.
Yes. He sure did.
His 12th double. And there's a start. Little chopper is going to roll foul off the bat of Ender Inciarte. No balls at a strike.
I was talking to Jeff Francoeur and Freddie Freeman earlier today about this ballpark, and naturally to right field there are certain inviting aspects of it that you mentioned, Chip, like 320 down the right field line, even though there's a high wall. But both guys, a left-handed and right-handed hitter, said the ball really seems to jump to right center here in those bleachers to the left of the big tall wall.
Productive out, runner to third. Inciarte gets Markakis there with a ground out to second.
Good job.
And now let's see if Freddie can aim for those seats in right center you were talking about.
And the consensus was that that high banked right field with the wall and the seats may block some air that flows out and keeps the ball at any rate. The shorter fence in right center field helps the ball get out of here because the wind is blowing that way a little bit. That was their take on it.
I think it's a great park. I love the dimensions. I love the odd angles. I love the different heights of the wall. All of those will be features at SunTrust Park next year when the Braves begin play there. It seems to be on paper our future ballpark, one that will favor left-hand hitters.
Well, that spot out there in left center, as Jeff Francoeur said, if you hit one there, you better pack a lunch because you're going to need it to get it out.
Two balls and a strike. It's been a resurgent last couple of weeks for Braves first baseman Freddie Freeman. Here's our Georgia lottery hitting the jackpot.
Great on base percentage. OPS is very good.
But he can't connect here. He strikes out for the second out of the inning. Second strikeout for Nice. The first strikeout victim was Jeff Francoeur, and here he is with Markakis at third, now 2 down.
Let's see if they pitch him the same way. Just kept running the ball in, a little more in, and then a lot in.
Fly ball right. Joyce is going to get there. And that will retire the side. The Braves get a leadoff double. Can't break through against Jonathan Nice. It's time for tonight's greater coverage of baseball, brought to you by T-Mobile. You talked about Adonis Garcia a little earlier, Joe. He's swinging a hot bat for the Gwinnett Braves.
Boy, Chris Ellis is pitching well, isn't he? Down there in Mississippi, 6-0, 2.06 ERA. Had another 3-hit game himself. Bumped up his average last night. And how about that game at Hickory? The Rome Braves scored 7 runs in the top of the 19th inning to beat Hickory. Luke Dykstra, yes, of the famous Dykstra family, 3 for 7 with a double.
Polanco leads off for the Buccos here in the 3rd inning. An infield hit. And he scored on Cervelli's ground out. Pittsburgh got 3 runs on 3 hits. 2 of the hits were infield. Bouncers up the middle.
I had a little player quiz with Chip before the game about their 3 outfielders. And I asked him, I said, give me how tall and big you think Polanco is?
And I said 6'1", 6'2", 220, 225.
And to me, he's always been kind of the lankier of their three outfielders. We know that McCutchen's the shorter of the three, with Marte not here tonight. This guy's 6'5", 230. 24 years old.
Just wait till he figures it out. He's on his way. As that one is lined off the glove of Kelly Johnson and late to first.
Come on, guys. You know, I got frustrated in the first inning because Ibar's knocking balls down, but he's not getting outs. We had a shortstop played here before that's, you know, the other extreme, who probably wouldn't have even gotten his uniform dirty. But not making those plays led to 3 runs. Got a bloop that dropped out in right field somehow, some way in front of Markakis last inning. Kelly doesn't hang on to this line drive. I don't get it. It's got to be better.
That's an infield hit.
What?
That's what they said. Hometown scoring. By the way, I'm going to have to get my partner a seatbelt. We're way too high. Press box. And we got four games with the Pirates here.
Well, the pitching has been so good. You just want the defense behind them to be good too, and help them out.
Up the middle, and Ibar can't get that one. Back-to-back hits. Throw back to second. Polanco back on top of the bag. And look, we've said it in spring training. We said it in the first week of the season. We said it during the 9-game losing streak. We said it during the 8-game losing streak that followed the 4-game winning streak. This team doesn't have a margin for error. They have to play clean games defensively, not just in not making errors, but making plays.
Yeah, it's not the physical errors. It's the plays that don't go in the book as an error.
Yeah.
The Braves haven't been charged with an error tonight. And so this is all on Williams Perez, and that first inning shouldn't have been.
And he's in immediate trouble again here in the third. First and second for Cervelli, and nobody out. Ground ball right side. Kelly can't get that. And Polanco stopped at third, then ran through the stop sign and scores anyway. It's 4-0. 3 straight Pittsburgh hits.
Nick Markakis has been an outstanding right fielder his whole career and Gold Glove winner. He charged this ball great, came up, but then he took 2 steps. It was like he fielded it, and before he threw it, he wanted to see where Polanco was, and by the time he then threw it, it was too late. If you're going to come up throwing, you got to come up throwing.
And how about Cervelli? 9 hits in his last 19 at bats against the Braves, and he's got 7 runs batted in. 2 RBIs for him tonight. Already a 4-run Pirate lead, and Roger McDowell concludes a very quick visit. Here's Matt Joyce. Line past third.
Look
Yikes.
out, Rick Sofield. See, that's why I hate third base coaches being that close to home plate. I know why they position themselves there with a runner at second base, but golly, they're only about 45 feet from home plate. They do that so that they can give themselves time to make a decision on a base hit, to waive the runner or not. Well, go stand up there in the coach's box. Give yourself a chance not to get hit by the batted ball, and then hustle into position to give yourself the read.
2 balls and a strike. I mean, if we're so concerned about player safety with slide rules and catcher's interference rules, why don't we mandate the coaches have to stay in the box
At
until
least
the ball's put in play?
Yeah. This is kind of a new thing too. They never used to do this.
No.
No.
High in the air towards center. And there's the grab. Runner at second's going to tag, and he's going to make it to third standing up. Inciarte airmailed the bag at second base, but Freddie Freeman caught it in the center of the diamond. No advance by Cervelli, but Freese moves up 90 feet on Joyce's deep fly to center. Now, we used to see third base coaches go the other way. Rene Latchman
Yes.
with Mark McGuire.
Yes.
Three straight Pirate hits here in the third inning. They got 3 first-inning runs. And they've got men at first and third for Josh Harrison, who flied out to right to end the Pittsburgh first. Four runs on 7 hits for Pittsburgh so far tonight. And a little late. It's 1-1. Harrison's found a home, hitting 7th for the Pirates. 14 of his 18 RBIs have come in this spot on the lineup card. He has 18 RBIs in total. Ground ball right side. Kelly Johnson got to that one. His throw to first is in time, but that's going to score David Freese. And the Pittsburgh Pirates are just playing ABC baseball tonight, and they've scored 5 runs in the first 3 innings. 19 RBIs for Harrison. 2 out. Here's Jordy Mercer. And Braves fans, if you can't watch the games on TV, now you can stream them live on your mobile device. Go to your app store and download the free Fox Sports Go app. Log in and stream the Braves wherever you go. Mercer will be walked with first base open and Jonathan Neese coming up. Frustrating start to this series, Joe, after the Braves played so well in Kansas City and nearly took 2 out of 3 from the defending world champions. They've come out of the gate very sluggish defensively, and Williams Perez coming off arguably his best start in the major leagues last time out. Touched up for 3 in the first and 2 runs here in the third.
Yeah, sluggish, lackluster, call it whatever you like. That on the defensive side, they haven't done Williams Perez any favors.
So Mercer's walked intentionally, and here's Jonathan Neese.
You know, with Williams Perez, as outstanding as his last start was, the 8 innings, giving up only 1 run on a home run to the Phillies, he only struck out 4 guys. So he was pitching to contact, and he was depending on his defense to help him out. They did. Tonight, not so much.
And again, no errors, but 3 or 4 plays that should have been made and weren't, that have been costly. And Neese looks at a strike. Pittsburgh happy to be home. They're starting a 10-game homestand with the Braves, the Rockies, and the Diamondbacks. And a comebacker will mercifully end the third inning. 2 more runs across for Pittsburgh. Braves have got to tighten up the D. They're down 5-0 heading to the 4th. 5-0 Pittsburgh. The Braves have a couple of hits. Pittsburgh has 7 of them. And I'm not sure if they found a live rooster to cure what's ailing the Braves gloves. But at this point, that might not be a bad idea. Down 5 to Jonathan East.
Candlesticks always make a nice gift.
That's right. As we said earlier, not a giant crowd here in Pittsburgh tonight. Big sports night for them. They are hockey crazy here. The Pittsburgh Penguins are playing the Tampa Bay Lightning just across the river in the second game of their Eastern Conference hockey playoff matchup.
Love those guys and gals. Haven't seen them before.
Where are they standing?
I think they're on the railing.
Oh, yeah, okay.
On the rotunda.
Nice. Kelly Johnson takes a strike. As the 4th inning's underway, Kelly has one of the 2 Braves hits. The other, a double by Nick Markakis off the fence. Leading off the 3rd, he was left stranded. Bouncing ball. Pirates had him played perfectly. Mercer behind the bag. And Jaso couldn't handle the throw at first. There's a break.
Looked like a break for the Pirates because after the first pitch, they put a shift on where Mercer was right there for that ground ball, but he threw that one to first off his heels.
That'll probably be scored a triple. But we'll wait and see. Runner at first with nobody out. Tyler Flowers walked in his first at bat and takes a ball. Light schedule in the National League today. The Marlins and Phillies are underway. That's a 1-1 game in the 4th inning. Conley and Eichhoff are working at Citizens Bank Park. And they do give Jaso an error on the drop at first base. Double play ball. Mercer to Harrison for 1. And Easy does it to first. Catcher running, 2 out. Chase Darno reached on a force play back in the 2nd inning, so he's 0 for 1. Wild game in Cleveland, interleague play. Indians 7, Reds 6 in the 6th. The Indians have beaten the Reds 13 out of the last 14 times they've played them.
No kidding. They had some cold weather in Cleveland over the weekend.
I saw some pictures. They had snow on the field, didn't they?
Yeah. Well, I woke up this morning and it was 34 degrees here. And there were people who told me there were some flurries downtown early this morning.
No thanks. Had enough of that. Beautiful weather day today in Pittsburgh once the sun rose above the horizon. It's got a little cool tonight. Wind blowing toward the left field corner, but all in all, a real nice night to enjoy a ball game. And the Pirates at home enjoying a 5-0 early lead.
Neese's last start, a bit of an improvement over his previous 2 or 3. He pitched into the 7th inning at Cincinnati, limited them to 3 runs, but got beat 3-2.
Line over Jaso's glove, and Darno's around first on his way to second. And he's going to make the turn. He's going to try for 3. Harrison loads up. His throw to third off target. And Chase Darno, thinking 3 from the crack of the bat, slides in safely with a 2-out triple. Braves, I think, were the last team in baseball to have a triple. They've got 2 of them now in the last week.
He can run, and he's got some long strides. Fielded cleanly by Joyce. Good relay to Harrison, and Chase just outran him.
Sonis has an option or 2 with Ibar up there. The pitcher Williams Perez is on deck. He is in attack mode. He would like to start the 5th inning with the Braves pitcher. 0-2. And there's that breaking ball that got Francoeur earlier in the game. Ibar strikes out with d'Arnaud at 3rd and 2 outs, and he still has a shutout. Pittsburgh, we head to the home 4th inning. Chip and Joe with you from beautiful PNC Park. It's time for our Toyota Key Plays.
They were plays that weren't made. This play at second base on the flip to second could have been a forced play. Same inning, bottom of the 1st was the pass ball. Ball drops over in front of Markakis. This line drive to Kelly. Out in and out of his glove. That was ruled a hit. Key non-plays, I guess, would be the description there.
So once again, Williams Perez will face the Pirates leadoff man. John Jaso's up for the 3rd time. We're in the 4th inning. He has not gotten a lot of help out there. 2 quick strikes to Jaso, who's walked and who hit that single that Markakis couldn't catch.
You're a fashion expert. What would you call his do?
Dreadlocks.
Dreadlocks?
Yeah, check them out.
Looks a lot like one of my sister's Barbie dolls after she had worked it over.
Well, you look at his picture in the media guide, and it's not nearly as Rastafarian, I guess would be the word I'm looking for. Ibar had Jaso played perfectly and gets him for out number 1. Jaso broke in with Tampa Bay, played in Seattle for a year, 2 years in Oakland, back to Tampa Bay, and now in Pittsburgh for the first time.
One of the things about their offense that's so potent is on base percentage, 2nd in the league to the Chicago Cubs, and you see how awesome these numbers are. And I put Jaso in there because He's hitting .277 coming in, so his on-base percentage is even higher because he's drawing walks and getting on base as the leadoff guy.
This is a different looking Pirate team in this regard. Remember, we've talked about who isn't here for them. Pedro Alvarez hit 27 homers for these guys last year. Neil Walker hit 16 home runs for the Pirates last year. They're gone. They're playing for other clubs. So they have to score runs in a different way than they have done in years past, and that's why that on-base percentage is so important for them. And why that on-base percentage leads to guys, so many guys in their batting order in double digits in RBIs. McCutchen pops it up. And Kelly Johnson puts the squeeze on that. McCutchen's 0 for 3. 2 up, 2 down. Here at inning number 4. Every guy in the lineup tonight for the Pirates except the pitcher has double digits in RBIs. You said in the first week of the season you really like this Pirates team. It's early. Look, they're playing in their 37th game now. They are 8 games behind the Chicago Cubs. They've lost 5 or 6 to Chicago. Do you still believe in this Pittsburgh team? Well, the Cubs have ripped out in front of everybody. Maybe not as any great surprise to anyone. I'm just surprised they've run off and left the Pirates. What's been disappointing, I think, for this Pirates team so far, just as an outsider looking in. That is a fair ball, and Polanco didn't run. He thought it was fouled at the plate. Instead, the ball rolled fair. He's embarrassed, and he's out number 3. We'll talk more about it when we come back. Rays are up in the 5th, down 5 in game 1 here at PNC Park. Top of the 5th inning in Pittsburgh with Joe Simpson and Paul Bird. Chip Carey with you. The Braves and Pirates starting their season series. The Pirates jumped on Perez for 3 first-inning runs, added 2 in the 3rd inning, and Jonathan Neese has been free and easy so far tonight. He's had base runners in every inning, but the Braves have not mustered but 3 hits. And the 5th starts with Perez, then Markakis, then Ender Inciarte. And a swing and a miss takes care of the Braves pitcher. Neese has his 4th strikeout. Joe, we were talking about the Pirates and where you think they stand in the National League Central. We've seen the Cardinals and we've seen the Cubs, and now we've seen Pittsburgh. Yeah, I like this team a lot, and I still think they have the best outfield in baseball all around. Their starting pitching is pretty good. It hasn't
reached its peak by any means. Garrett Cole really stepped up yesterday and pitched a great game for them. The one area that hasn't been what they're used to is their bullpen. And I say that knowing that this is an incredible number. That when the Pirates have a lead after the 8th inning since the beginning of last season, the Pirates are 101. One loss out of 101 games when they lead after 8. That is amazing. So Melancon's done a great job. Some other guys have helped out too, closing games when he needed a rest. But their bullpen hasn't hit its stride yet, and when their offense starts clicking a little bit, I think they'll be able to make a move and at least cut into the lead that the Cubs have set up.
Yeah, I mean, they've got 13 more games with Chicago, so this race is obviously far from over.
But yeah, those will be very important games to the Pirates.
And from the Braves' perspective, the Pirates are another model that they may try to follow. Remember, we all see what the Pittsburgh Pirates are now and how good they've been for the last 3 seasons entering this 2016 year. But they had 7 consecutive years, Joe, where they lost 90 games or more, including 1 year where they lost 105. In 5 of those 7 years, their team ERA was over 4.5, including a couple of seasons where their ERA was over 5. So they have methodically built through the draft. They've made great trades. They have brought in Clint Hurdle. And Markakis is struck out, and he's going to argue with Jerry Meals about the strike zone now.
Let's see. Target was away. Crossfire. Didn't appear to have any part of the plate. So a bit of a gift there on a strike 3. Back to what you were talking about, Chip. And not only that, but the fans were disenchanted. You know, they weren't coming out at all because they just felt like the Pirates, before Neil Huntington got here, weren't doing things the right way. Neil Huntington took over and they really started making moves that you were talking about. Good drafts.
They had some bad luck too. I mean,
they did.
Luck does play into it. They would be drafting high in the draft and all of their pitchers that they would pick would get hurt. That was horrible luck for the Pirates.
True.
As Inciarte lines to freeze at third, and everything is going the Pirates' way in Game 1 tonight. 3 up, 3 down. Pittsburgh leads at 5-0. Thank you very much. Shocker that the Phillies are playing a 1-run game.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. And that's so surprising either that Martin Prado's in the top 10 in hitting in the National League too.
Yeah, 3rd overall with a .374 average. Daniel Murphy of the Nationals hitting .400 leads the way in National League play. So We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Williams Perez back out there and gets one off his glove. Ibar bare hand on the ricochet, and the throw to first is in time.
Nice play.
Little pinball action that time. 1-6-3 on the put out. Paul Bird, this game unraveled very quickly for Williams Perez. The leadoff walk certainly didn't help his cause, and we've talked about the plays not made behind him tonight. How difficult is it for a pitcher to stick with his game plan down 5 runs after 4 innings of work?
Well, it can be difficult. The first thing I thought about as a pitcher is save my bullpen. And if there's adjustment I need to make, what is it? The only adjustment that I see him needing to make is what you and Joe talked about earlier, which is get the ball down a little bit. But he really has not given up very many hard hits. I mean, we need a softball rover standing behind second base. Yeah. 7 hits, and I count 2 balls that were hit hard, and so that's the most frustrating part as a pitcher, when you don't know exactly what to correct. But the last thing you want to do is point out anybody on your team, your defense. You go over, you pat them on the leg and say you'll give them another chance or just whatever, and you really concentrate on trying to save that bullpen.
Well, you know what, Paul? Matt Whistler's been very good about that lately with respect to the lack of offense. He says, I can only control what I can control, and I know the guys will start scoring some runs for me on nights where I'm not pitching my best. Same could be said for Williams here, that, hey, you made some plays for me against Philadelphia, and I pitched 8 innings. So I know he's never going to complain about that.
Right, and Williams, he's not a strikeout guy, so you also want to guard about trying to overthrow and becoming a pitcher that you're not. When your defense is struggling a little bit, trying to do too much, you continue to give them those ground balls and understand, as you said, that they can turn it around too.
Paul, how hard is it to go to the mound when you have the good angel on the right shoulder and the bad devil on your left, saying, okay, I'm pitching well, but my team's not scoring either? Does that enter your mind? Do you feel like you have to make perfect pitches every time out there? Is that something you have to put out of your head to be effective?
It does, and we say fight off the demons. The demons say it's not your night. It doesn't matter what you do. It's not going to work out for you. That kind of thing. This game, as you know, is very mental, and yes, that's where the mind games come in.
So Perez gets a couple of ground balls here to start the Pirates' 5th. He's set down 6 in a row and 8 of 9 with a walk sandwiched in between. So,
yeah, that walk was intentional.
Starting to pitch more like Williams Perez, getting the ball on the ground. And here's Matt Joyce. Again, no Starling Marte for the Pirates. Paternity leave. He has to miss 3 games to take advantage of that holiday. And it's a great holiday. We congratulate Marte for that.
Yeah, I didn't know yet. If you put him on that list, it was mandatory 3 days. I thought it was for however long he was gone. If it was 24 hours, you could still call up a player to take their place. Not so.
So the Braves, for the first 3 games of this series, miss a man who's 9th in the league in hitting, 2nd in multi-hit games, 4th overall in hits, 1st in steals, and tied for 3rd in doubles.
He's a great player, one of the most underrated players, certainly in the National League, but really in all of baseball. That guy there's had a lot to do with this turnaround and evolution of this ball club from young players to a winning team, having a winning attitude. That's Clint Hurdle.
Starting in 2013, the Pirates have won 94, 88, and 98 games in consecutive seasons.
Think how tough it would be, Chip, to win 98 games, have the 2nd most wins in baseball, and know you've got to play a wild card game, 1 game, and Jake Arrieta's pitching for the Cubs.
Right.
And your season's over when that game ended.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Ibar can't make the play with the backhand. And Matt Joyce is aboard with 2 outs. Did that get Perez on the way by? Let's see.
Well, he tried a skate save. Something that would have worked for Tampa Bay Lightning tonight in the first period, but hasn't so far.
Yeah, so far Pittsburgh leads their opponent 7-0.
Yes, they do combine the sporting action tonight.
So Joyce with an infield hit, his second hit of the game. That brings up Harrison. Driven to right. Markakis, long run. That's tailing away from him. Can't get it. It's high off the wall. It bounces away from him. Joyce around third. He's going to come around and he's going to score without a play. And Harrison all the way around to third base.
There's a line out there in foul territory on the wall. And the ball bounced in fair territory, and then it looked like it bounced up and hit the wall in foul territory. But if it's to the left of the line, it's in play. See the right above Bowser over there? It will bounce up over into foul territory. But as long as it's left of that line, that little mini line up there, it's in play.
So back-to-back hits for the Pirates with 2 outs brings up Jordy Mercer.
Right above the B in Bowser. And that line kind of runs straight up from the wall that's along the right field line.
Mercer grounds out. Pittsburgh gets another run with 2 outs. And we head to the 6th. Good news is the Pirates missed the extra point as we head to the 6th inning. MLB.TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. That includes a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Go to MLB.TV for details. $6-0 Pirates. Interesting stat on Freddie Freeman. We've talked about how this ballpark seems to be tailor-made for left-hand hitters. Did you know that Freddie Freeman has never homered and does not have an RBI in this park?
Is that right?
Yep.
Not even an RBI,
no.
huh? Interesting.
Now that's not a knock on Freeman. I'm sure they've pitched him extremely tough. But hopefully
it's just one of those weird things.
Yeah. That ball shot toward left, and that's going to roll to the fence. Freddie Freeman's going to have an extra base hit as Polanco couldn't come up with it. And Freddie stops at second. That's his 7th double. Braves have 3 extra base hits tonight. Let's see if they can cash one of them in.
They wasted a leadoff double back in the 3rd inning when Markakis hit one off the right field wall. left field in this ballpark is kind of like right field at Fenway Park. You're never quite sure how deep to play. And Polanco normally plays right field for the Pirates. Tonight playing left with Marte gone.
They have buried the ball on Jeff Francoeur most of the night. Last at bat, he swung early in the count, not wanting to get to 2 strikes. So let's see what game plan Jeff has here in his 3rd at bat. He's 0 for 2.
Saw Jeff's parents tonight. They flew up for the series.
Fouled away. 2 balls and a strike. Time for our Academy Sports and Outdoors leaderboard.
Lowest starters ERA against the Braves since 2014. Jonathan Neese is 4th. How about that? A minimum of 4 starts.
Swing and a drive. That's belted deep left. Jeff Francoeur has hit a 7-iron out of the ballpark. A 2-run home run, and the Braves are on the board.
How interesting. Jeff Francoeur told me today that he was going to kind of subscribe to something Kelly Johnson had been talking about, that they've been taking so much batting practice trying to hit line drives, trying to hit the ball the other way, trying to make better contact, that he said, I don't know if I can lift the ball anymore. He said, I'm so concentrating on that today when we go take batting practice, I'm going to hit a few balls out of the ballpark just to make sure I know how to do it. He said, I'm not going to spend the whole batting practice trying to hit every ball in the seats, but I'm going to try to see if I can get some lift.
Is that like a golf analogy when you stand on the tee and say, I'm going to drive the ball 300 yards and you can't do it?
Well, we've talked, and everybody talks and says this, that, you know what, when you try to hit homers, you can't because you try to muscle the baseball. It's not that. It's about bat speed. It's about being quick to the baseball. But he's talking about maybe having his hands inside the ball to try to hit the ball up the middle into right field so much, and trying to stay on the ball so much, that he thought maybe I ought to just try to hit a few balls out of the ballpark in BP, and look what happened.
Well, Neese has just given up his 11th home run in 45 innings. Jeff Francoeur hits his first homer since last September 27th against the Nationals, and Jeff's riding a 5-game hitting streak. The Braves now trail 6-2.
But at least it was in his head. The thought was in his head that if I get a good pitch tonight, you know, maybe I can do that. And could have been in his head in the first at bat when he was overswinging over some balls that were down and in.
So Jeff Francoeur joins Freddie Freeman as the 2 Braves batters with homers in tonight's lineup now. And a ground ball hit toward Harrison. He goes to a knee to scoop it up and throws to first to get Kelly for the first out of the inning. Jeff's been wearing out lefties.
Like that had the middle of the plate, and really no doubt about it, to a ballpark that's tough to hit homers to and straightaway left.
Yeah, it went a long way out too. That was not a wall scraper.
Yeah, it almost made the second deck, I think.
So there's a start for the Braves offense. Tyler Flowers with 1 out. Another ground ball. Harrison a step to his left. 2 outs.
Some people might be thinking, well, why hadn't he thought of that sooner? Or why hadn't he trying sooner to hit the ball, drive the ball out of the ballpark? Well, the answer to that is it's almost self-defeating. If that's all you're thinking about, you're going to strike out too much. You're not going to be able to help the team as much, especially pinch hitting, which is what he had been doing up until about a week ago.
2 outs for Chase Darno. He tripled last time up. And now here we are in a 4-run game. You think about what could have been for the Braves. They got a leadoff walk and a sacrifice. Freeman and Francoeur couldn't bring home Markakis. Braves had base runners all over the place in the second. Couldn't score. Leadoff double in the third. Couldn't score. Darno with a 2-out triple. Couldn't bring him in. You tack on a couple of those and you've got an interesting game, or a more interesting game. And that's bounced to the Pirates dugout foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Ibar waits next. And a swing and a miss on a ball in the dirt. Cervelli out on the grass to get a good angle to throw. And that retires the side. A leadoff double by Freddie Freeman. And a long 2-run homer for Jeff Francoeur to left. His first of the season. The Braves are on the board. It's now a 6-2 Pirate game. Memorial Day weekend at Turner Field when the Braves take on the Marlins and the Giants Friday, May 27th through Memorial Day, Monday, May 30th. Don't miss the Chipper and Freddie ATV bobblehead on the 28th and Chris Stapleton on the 29th. Go to Braves.com/tickets today. Jonathan Neese is out of the ball game, and Alan Hansen, just called up from AAA Indianapolis, is going to dig in his major league debut.
This guy's been an all-star at 4 different levels each of the last 4 years. And the reports on him are that he can really run and is a triples machine.
Popped up left side. That one is slicing toward the stands, and it's out of play. Hansen's from the Dominican Republic. Was rated the fastest base runner in the Pirates minor league system. He'll fit right in with the rest of these major league buccos, if that's true. Stole 35 bags last year at Indianapolis at 263. He can play the infield, he can play the outfield. Led International League second baseman in fielding percentage last year. And he strikes out in his first big league at bat against Williams Perez. There's the first out in the Pittsburgh 6th.
was right about here where, after my first big league at bat and struck out, Walter Alston said, "That's okay, kid. I struck out my only at bat in the big leagues too."
I don't think Clint said that to
No, but it sure makes you think.
Jonathan Neese, 2 runs, 5 hits in his 6 innings of work tonight. He's in line to win his 4th game, his 10th against the Braves, as Pittsburgh continues here in the 6th inning. Ground ball by Jaso. That'll be easy. And a perfect throw retires the Pirates' first baseman. 2 up, 2 down in the 6th inning. Hope you'll stay with us for Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. We'll check in with Braves skipper Freddie Gonzalez. I'm sure we'll hear from Jeff Rancour about his home run tonight. And hopefully we'll talk about a Braves comeback. If there is some good news tonight, to this point, they've held down the superstar of the Pirates, Andrew McCutchen's 0 for 3.
And 0 for his last 10.
And when you're in a stretch like that, even a small slump, I'll bet you feel like every time you stand in the box, you've got this count. 0-2.
Every time. Even for a great player like Andrew. Good pitch. That was a really good 0-2 pitch. Hard, low, just off the plate.
That's driven to right. Markakis back to the warning track and up against the fence is there. And that retires the side. 3 up, 3 down for Williams Perez. That figures to be his final inning. He's due 2nd in the 7th.
Atlanta Braves baseball is presented by Academy Sports and Outdoors. Right stuff, low price, every day.
It's 6-2. We head to the 7th inning. The first 20,000 fans in attendance Saturday, May 28th, get the giveaway of the year, a Chipper Rescues Freddy ATV bobblehead. Don't want to miss this one. Go to Braves.com/tickets and get your seats today. Jonathan Neese out after 6 innings. Braves will go to the bench after Eric Ibar hits, and the Braves will take a peek at a former member of their farm system, Neftali Feliz.
Feliz went to the Texas Rangers in the deal for Mark Teixeira. Hard throwing right-hander, upper 90s fastball with a good slider. There are his numbers in his first 16 games with the Pirates. 17 strikeouts in 12 1/3 innings. He's battled some arm injuries too. But if he's healthy, what a pickup he is.
As if their bullpen needs any late help. As you said, they're 101 when leading after 8 the last year plus. And his first in there at 96 miles an hour. Phillies had a 40 save season with the Rangers in 2010, a 32 save season in 2011. He has 23 big league saves in total since. When Texas got him, they put him in the starting rotation in the minor leagues to build his innings up. But when he got to the major leagues, he was a closer until 2012. He went 3-1 and started 7 games. There was that controversy in Texas. Should he start? Should he close? Then he got hurt.
Just turned 28, 6'3", 225. Out of the Dominican.
Tommy John surgery in 2012, recovered in 2013. More elbow problems plagued him in 2014, and then last year 48 games between Texas and the Tigers, who are perpetually looking for bullpen help down the stretch. Eric Ibar 0 for 2 tonight. And almost got hit. 1-2 your count.
You know, those two deals that stand out for most Braves fans, like Adam Wainwright going to St. Louis and the deal for J.D. Drew. This guy, Elvis Andrews, Matt Harrison, some other guys going for Teixeira. None of those deals would be frowned upon as much if the Braves had been able to re-sign J.D. Drew and Mark Teixeira.
And I think that was the Braves thinking. Teixeira, Georgia Tech guy.
Right. J.D. Drew, a Georgia guy. Yeah, if they'd been able to keep those guys, I don't think anybody would frown or raise an eyebrow to those deals, given what good ball players came back.
Well, and that was the Braves' commitment to excellence too. Those deals were made with the thought of winning now.
Yeah.
Because J.D. Drew and Mark Teixeira, as that one's hit toward right, and Joyce will drift back. Both were good offensive players and joined a team that needed exactly what their offense provided them, not to mention Teixeira's great defensive first base.
And both played well.
Right.
In Braves uniforms. They both did real well.
Reed Brignac's going to hit for Williams Perez. Third at bat on the road trip for Reed, who was called up on May 2nd from Gwinnett. That was transaction-a-palooza day for the Braves. 7 transactions were made when Atlanta played the Mets. Brignac was one of 4 players called up that day from Gwinnett, including Mike Foltynewicz, who will pitch here on Thursday night. And fouled back. No balls, 2 strikes for Reed Brignac.
Well, I just realized that the hits just keep on coming for Williams Perez, because on that ball that went to the screen, he was charged with a wild pitch. It was not a pass ball.
Perfect. And 6 earned runs in his 6 innings. And that's very close to his career ERA against the Pirates. It was 5.59 coming into tonight's game. But again, when you rank the Braves best effort defensively games, this is not going to be at the top of the list. And that proved costly in the early innings as Brignac is down on strikes. 2 away and back to the top of the order. A walk, a double, and a strikeout for Nick Markakis tonight. Braves will send Aaron Blair to the mound here tomorrow. Juan Nicasio is going to pitch for Pittsburgh. Braves live at 6:30. First pitch at 7:05. And that got Cervelli, and he's down on 2 knees. The glove came off.
He got hit hard early in the game. When he was lying there patting his chest protector, he was trying to put things back where they go. There's just no explaining about it.
His walk-up music is "That's Amore."
Yeah.
That's not what he's thinking right now.
Nope.
And everybody in the ballpark who's ever done anything athletic in their lives is saying, boy, I'm glad that wasn't me.
Well, it's just with all the improvements in protective devices, there's one that they just can't quite improve enough.
So very true.
Oh, mercy. Yeah. It's just, I'm not laughing at him. I am laughing with him because that is as good a reaction as I've ever seen. Poor guy.
And ironically, it's a 1-strike count.
Better than one I can think of.
He got hit with that one too. Bless his heart. Fly ball to left. And Polanco near the stands is going to have just enough room. It curls back into foul ground. And Francisco Cervelli needs a hug. If you missed it yesterday, this was the topic around just about every major league clubhouse today. The doings in Texas between Jose Bautista and Rougned Odor. Takeout slide after a hit by pitch late in the final game head-to-head with these two clubs. And Odor took exception to that hard late illegal slide, and then it was on.
And I mean, flush on the jaw from Odor to Bautista, who was fortunate for Bautista, taken out of the fray by Adrian Beltre, who was trying to let him know that he wasn't going to do anything to him, but more than anything else, holding him up. Yeah, that was unpleasant. But you know what? As hard as that slide was, and probably as ugly as it was to a lot of people, it proved that baseball can police itself. Don't need the propeller heads to tell everybody how to slide, where to slide, when to slide, whether it's second or home plate. Baseball will take care of its own.
Alexi Ogando is in the game. Polanco is up for the Pirates. All right, I'm going to play devil's advocate with you and Paul. All right.
Okay.
This goes back to the playoffs last year, quite obviously, as Paul's ready with a right hook.
Chip, you want some?
Yeah.
I saw you training on the treadmill today at the hotel.
More than you ever can imagine. Let's go back to the playoffs last year, as Polanco dumps one into left for a base hit. Big game, playoffs. Texas gives up the long home run to Bautista. The emotional moment at Rogers Center in Toronto. Biggest home run of the year for Toronto, and he has that epic bat flip. Paul, as a pitcher, did you take exception to that? Joe, was he out of line doing this in the playoffs last year?
I'll let Paul go first.
I can't win on this one. Yeah, as a pitcher, I don't want to be disrespected and shown up like that. So, you know, if you're going to show me up and you don't want me striking you out and wielding a Western gun and blowing on it and then flexing at you walking off the field, then just know if you show me up, yeah, at some point, maybe next year in spring training, maybe next year within a couple months, you are going to get knocked down or hit in the back. And so it's okay if you show me up. Just know that there'll be retribution at some point. For me, that play, it should have been over right there.
The slide, you mean?
Once he was hit, it should have been over. That was it. And so when I think he went into second, the way he went into second, no, he didn't come in high with his cleats up to take out a knee. But this is what's really interesting. With the neighborhood play no longer in effect, the infielders are almost like a first baseman, and their feet have to be on that bag. So when you come in late like Bautista, that's a threat to Odor. Now, interestingly enough, Odor's famous for that too, but if you come in that late and you pop up and stick your chest out at somebody, you better be ready to stick and move. And Odor did, protecting himself, heat of the moment, got in a big fight, and I don't think anybody was really faulting him for everything that went on. But yes, it goes back to the bat flip, and guess what, guys? Baseball's fun again.
Yeah, Paul, I'm with you. When we watched the replay of the bat flip, that was not a real snap emotional reaction. He stood there and thought about it.
It was really bad.
And then flipped it. So it was kind of, I use the word premeditated. He had a chance to think about what he was doing and did it. The only thing I have an exception to on this deal about hitting Bautista as late as they did yesterday, that was the last time these two teams faced each other. Why didn't they do that? Why didn't they do that the first game they faced each other and get it over with?
And why wasn't Sam Dyson the guy that hit him? Because Dyson's the guy that gave up the home run and was supposedly upset.
Just do it early in the season, and the player like Bautista typically goes, okay, well, I know what that was for. Now it's over, and move on. So they waited till late, the last at bat of the season between the two teams, for that to happen. That's the only thing I took exception to from the Rangers side.
Let me ask you both another question with regards to that point. If you want the ultimate strategic advantage, isn't that a great mind game to play with Bautista and say, when's it coming? When's it coming? When's it coming? And he may have played 7 games with that in the back of his head.
Sure. I think that's part of it. I think, Paul, you raised a real good point just a minute ago about second base. And that is, if there's no neighborhood play and second basemen think that they can just stand there planted without fear of basically being knocked down, they're really in harm's way now. even on a clean slide, there's still a chance they're going to get hurt. They're going to get some knees damaged. So it's almost like they think they've got a safety net over them, and they really don't.
No, you're right on. And a lot of infielders talk about that. The very rule that's supposed to protect them, they feel, puts them more in harm's way. Now, a lot of people said, you know, that slide, he didn't come in high, so it's not that dirty. But when you come in that late, as you said, and your foot has to be on the bag, yeah, I thought that was a dirty slide. Years past, we wouldn't even be talking about that because the shortstop or second baseman would be shifted over. They get out of the way. They don't have to touch the bag, so they're okay. But that yesterday was very, very late and could have been detrimental to Ador's career. And if you take out a knee, that doesn't just affect you for this year. That's years to come. That's your livelihood. So I thought that was, you know, an appropriate response. And guys, let's face it, we're not WWF here in MLB, but we also don't play in a library. So sometimes that 6th grade playground comes out and you you take matters into your own hands, and it can bring a team closer. You know, something that's not talked about a lot is the Rangers rallied and came back, scored 4, and won that game. That could bring them together as a team.
Francisco Cervelli is the hitter after Freese struck out. And he pops one out of play, strike one.
Tejada got hurt last year in the playoffs on a slide by Chase Utley that was about as ugly as I've ever seen. It was bad. Chase Utley should have been suspended for double-digit games for the beginning of this season, if not the playoffs. And somehow, some way, when the season started this year, whatever he had on his suspension, it was waived. So if you're going to police it that way. Let players know that they're going to get suspended with slides like that. Yes, Tejada got hurt. Yes, guy right here, Kong, got hurt last year on a big slide by Chris Coughlin, and they were out for the rest of the year. They're not the first 2 guys to get hurt. There have been guys getting hurt all along.
I've said this a lot. Go back and look at videotape of the Kansas City Royals and the New York Yankees playoff games. You want to see aggressive body block, body roll slides that led to fights? Watch that and compare that to what we're seeing now at the second base.
And there were paybacks for that. You know, just like Paul said, if you do that, there's going to be a price to pay somewhere along the way. You know, if it was Hal McRae's body block, he probably got plunked somewhere along the way by somebody for the Yankees for that.
So then the next logical question is, there are obviously going to be suspensions of some sort. How long will those suspensions be, and what effect is that going to have on the Texas Rangers and the Toronto Blue Jays?
I'd much rather see that and sacrifice salary, and at these prices these days, that's pretty hefty to lose playing time, service time, and salary. If you're going to slide dirty, that's how you're going to pay. But you got to give the infielders, you got to take this ridiculous slide rule out at second base and give the infielders a chance to do their ballet act out there.
And we've seen evidence of that rule on this road trip already. Not nearly to the severity of what we saw on that video a moment ago in Texas. The ridiculous call on Ibar the other day in Kansas City, where his foot went right across the top of the bag. There was no intent to deceive the runner. There was no intent to be in the neighborhood. He went right across the bag like he'd done probably 1,000 times in his life. And the umpire said, well, he didn't touch the bag.
That's a good point.
Silliness.
Well, guys, if I could go back to something that Joe said, which is players will police themselves. I had a situation in Kansas City, and I hope I'm past the statute of limitations on this, but Mike Sweeney got hit, and I had to hit someone, and Robert Fick was their best player, so it was 2 outs. Robert Fick walked up the plate. I picked him. You know, threw as hard as I could and was professional. Went for his back, hit him in the hip. In the dugout after the game, it wasn't even after the game, but after that inning, Mike Sweeney walked down and almost had tears in his eyes, and he said, thank you. I'll never forget what you did for me. Gave me a big hug, and it was pretty cool. And I think there is some camaraderie. I'm not saying, you know, you should purposely get in a fight or throw at somebody to build that, but there is something about players policing the situation themselves, taking care of business in a way that's been going on for over 100 years. and that bringing guys together and just making things okay.
You know what, Paul? You're right, and that policing has been going on for well over 100 years. But
That's a very wild pitch. Polanco to third with one out.
There are people, and I think a lot of them are the same people that think that every kid that plays sports ought to get a trophy. You know, there are people who think, oh, this macho act, you know, that there's got to be a payback, that if you hit me, I got to hit you. That there's something wrong with that, and they try to relate it to society and self-defense and all these other things, and I just start laughing because it's so out of whack. You know, this is a game. It knows how to police itself. The criticism of the so-called unwritten rules are there. It's funny to me, the criticism of it, because that's what's kept this game what it is for so many years and kept players in line, kept teams in line who tried to play outside the rules. And it's sad to me when they're trying to legislate all of this action.
I agree, and as a player, you know what those rules are, and you're commended if you play the game the right way and stick up for each other at the appropriate time when it's not overdone.
Ogando strikes out Cervelli. That's the second out of the Pirates' 7th inning. Go ahead, Paul.
Well, and, you know, you're right. You know, there's guys that can take it too far, this and that, and they have they strut around and beat their chest, and it can be a macho thing. But then there's the other side where, like I was saying, you stick up for your teammates.
Right.
You protect somebody else from getting hurt, and you let people know that you're not going to be a doormat or be run over, and that says something about you as a team, as a player. And that's just sports. Not everybody can understand that, but that is just sports. When you get out there and you step on that field, you protect your teammates. You do what you need to do in a very professional way. You don't have to throw at somebody's head. You can throw in the right way, and sometimes you don't have to just throw a pitch in and knock them down, and that gets your point across.
I remember an incident.
I'm getting worked up down here, guys.
I know, you're loose.
The blood's flowing. Yeah, bobbing and weaving.
Yeah, I see you. I remember an incident in Cincinnati once before you joined the team, Paul, I believe, where several Braves players had been hit by pitches at Old Riverfront Stadium, and a pitcher went to the mound for the Braves, a relief pitcher.
That ball is hammered deep to right by Matt Joyce. What a find he has been for the Pirates. 3 hits tonight and a 2-run homer.
This guy's been amazing for them. And those fireworks are probably a good capper to this conversation, but I'll finish it real quick. And that was, Paul, after several Braves had been hit, a Braves reliever came to the mound, didn't do anything about it, and Terry Pendleton, playing third base, walked off the field. And did not want to play anymore because that pitcher did not defend his teammates, and Terry wasn't going to back him up, so he went to the clubhouse.
So Joyce with a very boring home run. I mean, no bat flip, no histrionics. He just hit it 420 feet and calmly made his way around the bases as Pittsburgh extends the lead to 8-2. So that's a great discussion, guys. And again, like it or not, that was a real ugly scene in Texas. But everybody is talking baseball, old-fashioned baseball, if you will. And they certainly were in the Braves dugout and locker room before the game today. Ogando is a little wild here in this Pirates 7th. Harrison's the hitter with a 2 RBI game. He picked up his 41st hit. It was a 5th inning triple.
That's 5 homers and 15 RBIs in his last 27 games for Matt Joyce.
The Braves team has 10.
What a pickup.
Fouled away by Harrison. Wild game at Detroit tonight. The Tigers were given an 8-0 lead after 1. It's 8-8 in the 7th with Minnesota. Brad Ausmus sitting on a very warm seat in the managerial chair in Motor City. Tampa Bay 11-1 over Toronto. That game's in the 7th.
Speaking of knockouts.
Yeah. Did he go? Yes, he did. And Harrison and the Pirates are down in the 7th. They add 2 more runs. Matt Joyce hits his 5th long ball. Paul, Joe, thanks for a great discussion. We go to the 8th.
Atlanta Braves baseball is sponsored by your local Toyota dealers, Let's Go Places, the Georgia Lottery, and Zaxby's Indescribably Good.
8-2 Pittsburgh in game 1 tonight at PNC Park. Williams Perez chased after allowing 6 runs in 6 innings. It's not fight night in Pittsburgh, but we are keeping with that theme. Let's flash back years ago. Paul Byrd got Eddie Perez in 1999.
That ends up square in the...
But Eddie's reminding him, well, it was twice. And then when ball came up to bat, it was on.
Guys, did he throw a punch there?
It looked like a little bit of a shove, maybe a punch.
A little love pat.
Did you guys hug it out afterward?
We did hug it out. You know what? And Eddie Perez was holding up the pile there, and you know, for me so that I could breathe. Curt Schilling down there.
Ender Inciarte hits one to left, and Polanco with a strong arm helps keep Inciarte at first with a leadoff single.
So you were about to be crushed, and he helped you out?
He did, and Inciarte won't let me finish my story. Nice hit right there. I tell you this, guys, why was I on the bottom of the pile? Well, I said this earlier. I was in the wrong division. See, I'm in the welterweight division, Eddie Perez in the heavyweight division, and then I had to take on the whole team, which was a wave, and we just ended up at the bottom of the pile. Eddie had superhuman strength, held up so I could breathe, said, I got you, buddy. Kind of a cool moment. Yeah, we hugged it out, and then, you know, he caught me later in my first game coming back for the Braves, so it all worked out in the end.
Corey Luebke is on for the Pirates, and he's been greeted with back-to-back hits. Inciarte a single, Freddie Freeman a double, and the Braves are in business in the 8th inning, 2nd and 3rd with nobody out. And Jeff Rancour's the hitter. He's got a 2-run homer tonight. Somebody wrote today online that for all baseball is doing and the good they're trying to do to keep the star players on the field, the one thing you cannot legislate is emotion or intensity. And this is a tough game played by tough guys, and things like what we saw yesterday do happen. And if you play this game without any kind of passion or emotion, who's going to pay to watch it?
It's I just go back to what I said before, that you just can't legislate all that out. I think back to an incident at the old Toronto Ballpark Exhibition Stadium when I was with the Royals, and Hal McRae had done something that they took exception to, or maybe the Royals hit somebody for the Blue Jays, so Hal was up first, and they hit Hal with a pitch, and Hal charged the mound, and he talked about it later, and he was laughing his tail off, and he goes, I got out there and I didn't know what to do. so as emotional as it becomes right away, just like we were talking about with Paul and Eddie, it goes away fast too. And from a baseball standpoint, there's rarely any big carryover on something like that.
Ground ball right side. Francoeur is going to get another RBI. Freeman to third, and Ciarte scores. It's an 8-3 game. Well, the Braves were involved in one of the worst brawls of all time. That was the August 12th fight. I think it was 84 with the San Diego Padres in Atlanta. That was the Pascual Perez thing. There were fights all day at Fulton County Stadium that day. And those were obviously the exception rather than the rule. There was no policing that particular day at the ballpark.
Because, and you know why? Woo, go ball.
That ball's hammered to center field. That ball is gone. Kelly Johnson has just hit a 2-run homer, and the Braves have scored 3 times in the 8th off Corey Lupke. His first homer of the year.
Well, it goes back to what Jeff and I were talking about in the lobby of the hotel today, that Kelly's the one that brought it up, that, you know, maybe I've lost my swing to get the ball in the air. There was a hanging breaking ball, and he didn't miss that one. Straight away center into the pirate bushes, into the hedge. So he and Francoeur have touched one off tonight. Good signs.
And we've got a game again. It's 8-5 in the 8th inning. And Clint Hurdle is on his way out to go get Corey Lupke.
As I told you earlier, their bullpen has been a little rocky.
So Atlanta trying to take advantage. 3 in, 1 out, nobody aboard in the 8th inning. It's now an 8-5 game.
Baseball is sponsored by Georgia Power and Xfinity. X1 from Xfinity will change the way you experience sports.
Braves have hit 2 homers tonight. Jeff Francoeur and Kelly Johnson each have 2-run shots. The Braves have scored 5 times, and now they'll be greeted by Jared Hughes, hard-throwing right-hander who was 3-1 last year in 76 games for the Pirates.
Yeah, you're getting to the part of their bullpen now that is usually the shutdown part of it.
Hughes started the year on the disabled list with a left lat muscle strain. The league hitting .304 against him in the early going this year. Tyler Flowers greets him first. Tyler 0 for 2 with a walk. And a sweeping slider is cut on and missed.
Yeah, good hard slider. He's low to mid 90s. That slider can range up to 87.
Hughes played college ball at Long Beach State. His teammates Evan Longoria and Troy Tulowitzki.
So he had run support.
Yes, he did, and he gives up another hit. So this is getting very interesting late for Atlanta. The Braves now have 9 hits in the game. Flowers reaches, and Chase Darno's coming up. He's got a triple tonight.
Well, I think we should just keep talking more about fights, you know, baseball fights, and let the guys do their thing.
Didn't John Smoltz have a fight with an umpire once, Joe?
No, but he had a fight in New York. He got charged. Who was that? He plunked the guy and then had to go into his high karate act.
You know who was happiest about, and I use this tongue in cheek, who was happiest about that fight in Texas yesterday? Robin Ventura, because no more is anybody going to talk about Robin Ventura getting hogtied and waylaid on by Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
Popped up. Jordy Mercer at shortstop says he's got it. And he does. 2 out.
See, and that's a good point. 99.9% of what we'll call baseball fights never result in somebody landing a punch.
Yeah, it's a dance contest.
Yeah, it's pushing, shoving, and then a dog pile at worst.
So what's happened in the 8th inning leads me back to what I said earlier. Remember those missed opportunities for the Braves? How'd you like to have those 2 runs or 3 runs right now? 8-5 game. And the 2-run homer by Joyce.
Braves have left 4 men at third base tonight.
Fly ball left. Polanco going back, slowing, and that's where fly balls go to die. Ibar hit it hard, but as the evening has cooled, it just died into the glove of the Pirates left fielder. Atlanta scores 3 in the 8th, but it's still a 3-run Pirate game. SunTrust Park season tickets are officially on sale. They start at as little as $7 a game for A-list members. Act quickly to get the best seats before they're gone. Visit Braves.com/SunTrust Park to secure your tickets today. I was talking about this development on the North Shore and how this ballpark and Heinz Field has transformed this part of Pittsburgh. SunTrust Park and the Battery figures to do the same thing just outside the perimeter in Atlanta next year.
Yeah, I think you could draw some similarities to that. This area wasn't much going on here except the one stadium that the Pirates and the Steelers shared. Now it's thriving. They got a casino just down the street on the other side of the football stadium.
This has become, at least for me, one of the top 5-6 stops on the Major League Tour now.
Yeah, this ballpark's in the top 3 in the National League for me.
1 ball, 1 strike for Jordy Mercer. He's won another inning out of Ogando. The pitcher's spot is due first when we get to the 9th inning. Got to figure Melanson's going to come on with a 3-run lead for Pittsburgh. As Joe said, Pittsburgh 100 wins, 1 loss, dating back to the start of last year when they lead after 8. Line drive right field, a base hit for Mercer, who now has an 8-game hitting streak head-to-head against the Braves. A leadoff single.
Well, the Braves did some really good work yesterday in the 9th inning off a tough closer in Wade Davis. They got a couple runs to tie the game up, send it into extra innings. The 2-run homer by Joyce there in the 7th inning complicated things the way that Atlanta came back in the 8th here. But you can't afford to give up any more against a guy like Melanson if you expect to have a chance to catch up.
So Colt Figueroa is going to be announced as a Pirate pinch hitter. And Freddie Gonzalez will go get the ball from Alexei Ogando, who worked an inning plus, 2 runs, 3 hits, and 3 strikeouts. Eric O'Flaherty, who began the spring with the Pirates, is coming on to pitch next. To spend your Memorial Day weekend at Turner Field when the Braves take on the Marlins and Giants Friday, May 27th through Memorial Day, Monday, May 30th. Don't miss the Chipper and Freddie ATV bobblehead on the 28th and Chris Stapleton on the 29th. Go to Braves.com/tickets today. Game number 18 for Eric O'Flaherty.
Yeah, he took the loss yesterday in extra innings when the first run that scored was Alcides Escobar, who had reached on a single and scored ahead of the home run by Morales. But as you said, Chip, he started the spring training anyway with the Pirates. Atlanta purchased him late in camp.
And he'll face Colt Figueroa. Figueroa was called up Friday from Indianapolis. He was hitting .340 down there. Made the opening day roster, went to AAA April 22nd. Another infielder for the Buccos, who has endured an 0 for 10 hitless streak. He tried to bunt, was still in the box, and that's foul for a strike.
They put down a lot of sacrifices too, this team. And Clint Hurdle wanting an extra run to work with going to the 9th.
That's swept off the plate.
Braves have 15 sacrifice bunts this year. The Pirates 13.
Figueroa signed as a minor league free agent. Former Florida Gator. Was originally drafted by the Padres. Was traded to Tampa Bay, then released, signed by the Yankees, where he played in 2 games last year, and now has made his way to Pittsburgh. Two balls and a strike. Ground ball up the middle. Ibar couldn't corral it. And back safely at second is Jordy Mercer.
Ibar got greedy there, and you understand why, because with the runner running, he was drawn to the bag to cover, and he was trying to step on the bag and glove the ball at the same time and get a double play. He got neither.
So Figueroa snaps his 0 for 10. 2 on, nobody out, and we're back to the top of the order. And it'll be Sean Rodriguez. He'll pinch hit for John Jaso. Rodriguez has already knocked in 14 runs. He drove in 17 all last year. Thirteen Pittsburgh hits in their return home to start a long homestand.
He and Polanco in Arizona on their last road trip hit a couple of back-to-back home runs that were ridiculous, that were 450 plus each of them. And in that same game, Jordy Mercer hit a home run that I think was farther than either one of those two. I don't know what was going on that night.
We were talking with Greg Schulte, remember the Diamondbacks broadcaster, about the troubles of Zach Greinke and Shelby Miller. He said for whatever reason the ball has been flying in Phoenix. And those Pirates certainly took advantage with a couple of tape measure shots.
What do they call those big sandstorms out there?
Big sandstorms.
Oh, yeah. You make things so simple for me, and I appreciate it.
Were you thinking of the range where they call them the monsoons?
No.
No?
It's like a Zumba. a Roomba.
Aruba.
Yeah, right. It's a funny name. I was just thinking about how the ball, with all the home runs being hit in Arizona, that was what was going on there. Haboob. That's it.
A haboob?
Haboob. A homer boob.
Why do you look at me when you say the boob part? I'm not sure what that's all about. 1 ball, 2 strikes. I'm doing the best I can with what little I got.
I don't know.
8-5 Pittsburgh. A haboob. I've never heard that word before.
Truck kind of went silent on that one too.
Yeah, that's not a surprise. In the dirt, and now it's a full count for Rodriguez. As I said, big offensive night for the Pirates with 13 hits. Only 2 of them extras. They entered play with the 3rd highest batting average in the National League, and they have shown us why tonight. They've made a lot of contact. And Rodriguez not going easily. And on the ricochet, that'll bounce into the seats.
Wasn't it Rodriguez that had a fight last year in the playoff game?
Might have been.
With the water cooler.
That's right. That's right.
And he won.
And the water cooler was suspended the entire rest of the offseason. Line drive right field, a base hit. Markakis comes up cleanly, and the Pirates will play station to station. The bases are loaded. Nobody out. 3 consecutive 8th inning singles.
Tell you what, this team is a pinch hitting machine.
I can see why you like them so much. They don't hit a ton of home runs, but they don't have to.
And they got a lot of speed.
And this is exactly what Clint Hurdle wanted to see. Lots of base runners for Andrew McCutchen. McCutchen's hit 2 homers in his last 5 games. And his 8-game hitting streak come to an end on Sunday. And he had a home run cut and didn't get it. Strike 1. No balls and a strike. Swing and a drive, well foul. Into the second deck and a mile foul.
He's never hit a grand slam, and he probably thought he had there, except he was a little quick on it.
Here's a surprising number for you. Did you know that Andrew McCutchen's never driven in 100 runs?
That is surprising. Even in his MVP year in 13, huh?
84 that year. Swing and a miss. And McCutchen lost the bat handle, and that looked like it hurt.
Yeah, it did. He was trying to play it off, but I think he hurt his left wrist.
Big first out for O'Flaherty. We'll keep an eye on McCutchen as he makes his way to the dugout, still looking at that left hand.
Kind of came off the bat too, almost like the torque of the swing did some damage.
Gregory Polanco has 3 hits, all of them singles. He scored 3 runs. He's stolen a base. Tyler Flowers wanted time.
Well, Flaherty had only given up 1 earned run in his last 8 outings prior to yesterday. Pretty good fastball from him there.
Flowers looking back at Jerry Meals, asking why. Guess it was inside. 2 balls, no strikes. Little pop left side. That's in foul ground. And d'Arnaud puts that away for the second out. Nice recovery for O'Flaherty. A strikeout and a pop out. Now there are 2 outs with the bases still full.
Keeping the Braves in the game going to the 9th. Needs 1 more out.
And it's David Freese who's got a 2-hit game. Big hero with the St. Louis Cardinals, a hometown boy. Had some gigantic hits in the Fall Classic for St. Louis against Texas.
Right.
They were down to their last strike twice, and Freese delivered.
Everybody in the Braves bullpen worked yesterday in that 13-inning game except Ogando. And he's already been used tonight.
I tip my cap to Williams Perez tonight. He gave the Braves a couple of extra innings, acting as his own relief pitcher with the game out of hand early. It was 5-0 Pirates and then 6-0 before he was taken down for a pinch hitter in the Atlanta 7th because his spot on the lineup card came out. He probably could have gone another inning or 2.
Probably so.
There's a strike, even count to David Freese. Now got a piece of Tyler Flowers, but O'Flaherty's now a strike away.
Big pitch here. He's working that outside corner, trying to get him to go after a backdoor slider so he can throw one a little off the plate and get him to chase it. Nice stop by Tyler Flowers.
That was a little bit out of the page of Jonathan Neese early in the game.
Yeah.
Throw it at the feet of a right-hand hitter.
Yeah, down and in. Freese's ability to pull the ball worries me a little bit about middle of the plate end. But he covered that.
And he's still alive at 2-2. Baseball is back Saturday with the Diamondbacks taking on the Cardinals in a game you can only see on FS1. Then it's the return of baseball night in America on Big Fox, featuring 2 of the best teams and rivalries in baseball as the Cubs battle the Giants. It's all Saturday on FS1 and Fox, or watch it live on Fox Sports Go. Swing and a miss. What a job by Eric O'Flaherty. He came on with a man aboard, gave up 2 hits, then fired 2 strikeouts and got a pop-up to keep it a 3-run game going to the 9th. against Wade Davis. Let's see if they can do it against Mark Melanson. They've had the big bats out tonight.
Jeff Francoeur's first home run of the year. 2-run shot to deep left. 7th inning. Kelly Johnson hits one in the hedge. The Pirates home run hedge in straightaway center. His first homer of the year.
And those are our Zaxby's indescribably good plays as Sean Rodriguez takes over at first base. One more note, this is the first multi-homer game for the Braves since opening day.
Wow. Well, it's a good sign.
And now Melanson goes to work. He's 11 out of 12 in saves. And he'll have the 9 1-2 hitters coming up for Atlanta. The first man coming up is Malik Smith.
This guy had 51 saves last year in their 98-win season. He was 3-2 with a 2.23 ERA. Only 14 walks in 76 innings. But again, their record leading after 8, 101 dating back to last season.
Pittsburgh trying to pick up a half game on the idle Cubs tonight. They have an 8-5 9th inning lead. And Malik's crowded with that first pitch. 1 ball, no strikes. Alex has 4 hits on the road trip. Had a 3-hit game on the 14th in Kansas City, including the first triple of the year hit by any Brave. And with 1 strike, he bunts it foul back to the screen. 1 ball, 2 strikes now.
That looked like a rare breaking ball from Melanson. He's mostly cutter off his fastball that ranges 90 to 93.
Alex didn't offer, and the count now 2-2. Melanson's been tough against the Braves in his career. 2 wins, 1 loss, 3 saves, a lifetime 2.03 earned run average. He gave up a run to the Cubs in his last inning yesterday at Wrigley Field.
Came from the Red Sox to the Pirates in a deal that brought Brock Holt to the Red Sox. We think a lot of Brock Holt, what a good player he is. Joel Hanrahan also went to Boston, but arm troubles waylaid him.
Alex hanging tough here. 2 balls, 2 strikes. That's foul at the plate.
Get on anyway, anyhow. Outfield shallow, especially Polanco in left and near the line.
Full count. Nick Markakis will follow. Strike 3 outside corner. Steady diet of inside stuff from Melanson, and then he grazed the outside edge, and Malix took strike 3. 1 out.
That was a cutter, and it's easy to give up on it. So he's got enough spin. You can see there, right to Cervelli. That's where he lives.
So Alex will file that away in the notebook. Hopefully that intelligence will pay off later in the series. Markakis takes the ball low. Nick has a double, a walk, a strikeout, and a flyout.
Yeah, there's 3 more games to be played here. So the more you see, especially the closer, the better you feel, the more comfortable you feel next time around.
To second, Harrison had it eat him alive, but it dropped to his feet, and there's the second out. Hope you'll stay with us for Braves Live, presented by Xfinity. The Braves and Pirates in the 9th inning of Game 1 of 4. We'll have all 4 games for you from PNC Park on Fox. Aaron Blair and Juan Nicasio tomorrow night. Ender Inciarte in the 9th. We'll try to keep it alive. Ender has singled and scored. Crowd standing at PNC Park. Strike one. Little dribbler to the right side. Harrison's got it, and the Pirates are welcomed home with an 8-5 Game 1 victory over the Braves. Pirates wrapped out 14 hits. Plays that weren't made behind Williams Perez were costly early, as were some missed offensive opportunities for the Atlanta club. 8-5 is your final score. We'll recap it from Pittsburgh after this.